Have you ever heard of a story where drunken elephants, divine intervention, and a vengeful king all play a part in saving an entire people? This is the story of 3 Maccabees, a fascinating but often overlooked book from the Jewish tradition. It's a tale of faith, loyalty, and miraculous deliverance, set not in Judea, but in Egypt. Let's dive into this incredible story and uncover its timeless lessons. Our story begins in the 3rd century BCE, during the reign of Ptolemy, the 4th Philopator, a Hellenistic king of Egypt. After his victory over Antiochus III at the Battle of Raphia, Ptolemy toured the cities of Coele-Syria, including Jerusalem. When he visited the Jewish temple, he was so impressed by its grandeur that he decided he wanted to enter the Holy of Holies, the most sacred part of the temple, forbidden to all but the high priest. The Jews were horrified. Entering the Holy of Holies would be a grave violation of their laws. The high priest Simon prayed desperately for divine intervention. He reminded God of his past deliverances and his promise to hear his people when they prayed from the temple. And God answered, swiftly and dramatically. Ptolemy was struck with temporary paralysis, forcing him to abandon his plan and leave Jerusalem. But this humiliation only fueled his anger. Vowing revenge, he returned to Egypt, where he devised a sinister plan to punish the Jews, not just in Jerusalem, but all across his kingdom. Ptolemy decreed that all Jews in Egypt must be registered, branded with the symbol of Dionysus, and reduced to the status of slaves. Those who refused would be arrested, chained, and brought to Alexandria. The situation seemed hopeless. But then, the first miracle happened. God caused the scribes' writing materials to run out, halting the registration process. But Ptolemy wasn't deterred. He came up with an even more horrifying plan. He would use his 500 elephants, intoxicated and enraged, to trample the Jews to death in the Hippodrome. On the day of the planned massacre, Ptolemy overslept, a miraculous delay that gave the Jews a temporary reprieve. The next day, God struck the king with forgetfulness, causing him to reverse his decision and defend the Jews as loyal subjects. But Ptolemy's anger soon returned, and he vowed once again to carry out his plan. With all hope seemingly lost, an elderly priest named Eleazar prayed for deliverance. Like Simon before him, he reminded God of his past miracles and begged for his intervention. And once again, God answered. God sent 2 angels, unseen by the Jews, who terrified the elephants and caused them to turn on Ptolemy's own soldiers. The king, witnessing this divine intervention, finally relented. He released the Jews, provided resources for a 7-day festival of deliverance, and even wrote a letter blaming his advisors for the mistreatment of the Jews. The Jews celebrated their miraculous deliverance with a festival, and those who had apostatized to save themselves were punished. The story ends with the Jews regaining their property and returning to their homes, their faith in God's protection stronger than ever. So what can we learn from 3 Maccabees? First, it's a powerful reminder of God's willingness to intervene on behalf of those who remain faithful to Him, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Second, it highlights the loyalty of the Jewish people to their faith and their God, even under persecution. And finally, it shows us that no matter how powerful our enemies may seem, divine justice always prevails. The story of 3 Maccabees may not be as well known as other biblical tales, but its message of faith, deliverance, and divine justice is just as powerful. If you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fascinating stories from the past. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.